I need to take the piston out a little bit, or push the piston. So a nice new Bosch one. Bosch. Hello and welcome back to Morsels and Motors. In today's video you join me with the Mark V Escort again, and today is a very momentous day in the history of this little car because it is going for its first MOT since September 2016. So let's get it out, give it a little bit of a clean and do some pre-MOT checks before I take it to the MOT station. Right, whilst it's just warming up, let's do some light checks, shall we? Front first, and then we'll do the rear. Okay, so we have side lights, dipped beams, main beams. Then we have right indicators, left indicators, hazards, should be everything flashing now. And I'll just repeat the test of the indicators with the lights on, just to make sure that there isn't any kind of cross-earthing or anything like that. Okay, that's the fronts, let's do the rears. Okay, we have lights, we have brake lights with the lights, lights off, brake lights on their own. Then we have reverse lights, and then we have lights on and fog light. And finally we have indicators to the right, to the left, again with the lights on and the fog light on, and finally some hazard lights with the lights on and with the lights off. Right, hopefully that's a full complement of lights. Okay, next job, let's do horn. That works. And let's do wipers and washers, shall we? Yeah, they work. Hooray! Okay, let's do a few basic checks under the bonnet. I know they're not necessarily MOT requirements, but the brake fluid level seems to be good. My goodness, that brake master cylinder is incredibly good condition. It's like brand new. We have pretty full washer bottle for the windscreen. That's good. We have a very full water bottle, and that's in, like, it's blue. That's amazing. I've never seen clear water bottles with blue coolant in them on a car I buy. The other thing to look at is rubbers. So the drive shaft boots, that one looks okay. I can't quite see, but that's the steering one on that side, that looks okay. That's the other side steering boot, that looks in good nick. I can't quite see the other drive shaft. It's hiding under the engine or the gearbox. On the wheel end it looks fine as well on this side. And same on that side, all looks in good nick. The only thing that concerns me is the tiny bit of rust on this sill here. I hope they'll only advisory it rather than fail it on that, because it isn't really part of the car's body necessarily, because it's kind of this sticky out bit. We'll see what they say. It might be within 30 centimetres of a prescribed area or something like that. So we'll just have to deal with that one, but at least I'll know then, which is why I'm taking it for the MOT now, so I know what I need to do to it. I forgot to check the number plate light, but it definitely seems to work, so that's good news. Okay, checks are done as far as I can see. Let's give it a little bit of a wash just so that the kind of leaves and detritus are taken off it, so the garage think of it as a nice, beautiful looked after car, and then we'll get going. Okay, that's the Escort looking really clean. Next job is let's set up the cameras inside the car so we can then take you for a drive with me to the MOT station. Oh, and incidentally, that's my first drive, so you are getting my genuine first impressions of this car on the way to the MOT station. Let's go. Okay, my first time driving the Escort. Wow, okay. It's very light, is my first impression of it. It's not fully warm yet, so the power delivery isn't terribly smooth. I still on choke a little bit. You'll notice I've had a slight costume change. I'm going to go to a cafe to wait whilst the MOT is taking place, so I don't want to look too scruffy. Now we have a choice of ways to go to the MOT station. We can either stay in 30 zones or go on the dual carriageway. And I feel that to give this car a full test, that I shall take it on the dual carriageway, just to kind of feel a bit of acceleration on it. But yeah, first initial driving impressions are it's, apart from having the window open, it's really nice and quiet and pretty refined in here. It's getting a little warmer now, so it's got a little bit of go to it. Oh yeah, we're up at 30. Easy and so smooth. Flip me, why did people criticise these back in the day so much? This is really not that bad. Oh, my mirror's all manky. Okay, let's overdrive. We're now doing 60. Oh wow! Gosh, for a 4-speed, this is so refined at 60. I don't risk taking it to 70 because I'm going to miss my turning if I do that. How has this car been off the road since 2017? It was last MOT'd in September 2016, and yeah, it was driven for 130 miles since then in a year, and then that's it. But it drives, do you know what? It drives like a new car. It really does. It feels so tight. Like all the controls there, nothing kind of baggy about it at all. Wow. I'm really impressed. Flip me. Oh, I shouldn't get too excited. It might fail the MOT spectacularly. So there are two things I think it might cause issues on the MOT. One is that little tiny patch of rust in the back of the sill. And two is the tyres. They are absolutely prehistoric. At least one of them is, I think, an original tyre from 1990. Well, that was a sadly quite short journey because we've nearly arrived at the garage now. I'm going to really enjoy owning this, I think. Well, as long as it passes its MOT anyway. Right, I'm at the garage, I dropped off the keys. I'm going to go for a walk and get coffee. Good luck, Escort. See you in a second. Right, I am back in the Escort after my coffee and my lunch. And do we have an MOT? No, we don't have an MOT. We have a fail. But the fail is mainly on brakes. So we have service brake accessory binding, so that's one side of the handbrake is binding too much. Brakes imbalanced front and brakes imbalanced rear. So basically the braking system just needs to be taken apart and given a good clean. I suspect the calipers are maybe just a little bit sticky. So that is not too bad at all. And the other thing is windscreen wiper isn't cleaning the windscreen effectively. So fair enough, they are probably about a decade old and very hard, so I will get a new set of windscreen wipers for it. So yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with that. That's really not bad at all. They're very, very easy fixes. So let's go home and get the brakes taken apart and give them a good clean. I'll buy a new set of windscreen wipers for it, and then I can take it back for a retest at some point. So yay, let's catch you in a bit. Right, I've just been to GSF Car Parts in the mighty Fiat Cinquecento, and I've ordered a set of wiper blades and 2 rear wheel cylinders for the Escort. Now the tester spoke to me as I was leaving and said that, well, first of all he said that the car was incredibly clean underneath, so I think I have bought a very good car, which is good news. He said that the main problem was just the rear brakes, that he thinks one of the wheel cylinders is seized because you could barely turn the wheel. So I hadn't actually noticed that this blade was split, so that's why it's failed on that one. So we'll bin that one, put a nice new Bosch one, Bosch, on the car. One Boshed. Two Boshed. Right, let's hope they clear the windscreen properly. I'm just going to do the rear as well because I could tell that it was very old as well, but I have gone for a slightly more budget one for the rear because it's not something that you use that often. Gone for GSF's own brand, which will be plenty good enough. Oh my goodness, I've just noticed the rear wiper was the original one. It's still got Ford on it. Oh my goodness. I feel a bit bad throwing it away now. Okay, I might be incredibly geeky and just swap the rubber over, because that's all that's wrong with it really, isn't it? And then I'll still have the original Ford one. Yay! Okay, that's done. New blade on the Ford wiper arm, whatever you call it. So let's put it on. That was totally not worth the effort, but you know what? Originality makes me happy. I have a Ford wiper arm. Well, I have also been working on the Escort's brakes. I have taken apart and cleaned up the front brakes on both sides. They just kind of need a little bit of greasing up. I think the pads and the discs looked in pretty good nick. I've now turned to the back. I've done the other side, and so this is the final side on the back for me to do. I'm not filming it completely, but just thought I'd show you a couple of things. This side actually looks in better condition than the other one. The other one of the shoe linings had sort of come off and disintegrated. Interestingly, Escort brakes have a much thicker shoe on the leading edge than on the trailing edge. I thought that it was just badly worn on the other side, but actually the replacements are exactly the same. They're meant to be like that. The other point that I've noticed on this side is I'm going to replace, by the way, the cylinder as well, and clean up the backing plate just to make it all fit properly. But one thing I've noticed on this side in particular is that these springy clips here that are supposed to keep the shoes flat against the back of the backing plate, they've actually sort of rusted together at the top. I don't know whether you can see, so there's no springing action to them. So actually there's quite a lot of movement there in the shoe, and it should really be kept nice and stationary there by this clip. Let me get this apart, clean it all up. I'll replace the cylinder with a new one, and I'll replace the shoes with new ones. Closer look at one of these clips. You see it's kind of supposed to be open at that end, but it has fused together. And I think if I get a screwdriver in there and break it apart, come on. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. There's all that tension kind of, and it's really hard to compress as well. So all that tension was not being put onto the shoe. So there we go. That's one thing I found wrong with the rear brakes. Let's carry on. That's all the old brake shoes taken apart, and that's the back plate that I've just kind of cleaned up a little bit, and I've just given it a little bit of a coat of Curus to stop the rusty bits from rusting any further. Right, that is the brake all assembled with the new parts, the new cylinder, all the new shoes. All the springs are, not quite, got one spring left to put it back in, which needs to go there. I'll do that in a second. And you'll see that these spring clips are now putting proper tension onto the kind of rod things, which means that the shoes are sitting really flat against the back plate. So that's good news. Let's put the drum back on and we'll bleed it and call it a day, hopefully. This offside rear, it is a Michelin MX tyre, and you can see from the little weight on the edge it's Ford branded, so that definitely confirms that this is an original factory wheel, or tyre I should say. Crikey. Well, I am just back from the garage on what is a pretty miserable day. I took the Escort for a retest after I sorted out everything on the brakes. Do we have an MOT pass? Do we have an MOT pass? Yeah, we have an MOT test certificate for the first time since 2016. So that is fantastic news. It's been off the road for about 6 years. It's now on the road again. Yay! I'm very happy, as you can probably tell. There is still one advisory on it, which is that the front near side brake, the passenger side, still has a little bit of a bind, so there's a brake imbalance. So I haven't done enough to completely clear the imbalance there. So I need to push the piston out a little bit and give it a little bit of a clean. It must be a little bit sticky, so I'll do that at some point just to clean that up. But yeah, I'm very happy. We can now go motoring with the Escort, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.